229 Ministries, what's up? I miss y'all. I really do. Hey, so if you don't know me, my name is Dekari. I used to serve with 229 Ministry at Perimeter Road Baptist Church and also with the worship team. Will asked me to give you guys a word on some parables, and hopefully I don't screw this up. Just a little precursor. Jesus used to preach his parables in pairs almost. So what that means is that some of the parables that he would preach would have similar meanings back to back. So these two parables specifically were pertaining to the growth and manifestation of the present form of the kingdom of God. Who wants to take a guess at those two parables? That's right. The parable of the mustard seed and the parable of the leaven. Today, we're going to focus on the parable of the mustard seed. You know what? Let's just get right into the text and see what it says. All right. So Matthew 13, 31 through, we'll say, 35. That's what we're going to read. All right. So this is what it says. It says, he put another parable before them, saying, the kingdom of heaven is like a grain of mustard seed that a man took and sowed in his field. It is the smallest of all seeds, but when it is grown, it is larger than all the garden plants and becomes a tree, so that the birds of the air come and make nests in its branches. He told them another parable. The kingdom of heaven is like leaven that a woman took and hid in 3 measures of flour till it was all leavened. All these things Jesus said to the crowds in parables. Indeed, he said nothing to them without a parable. This was to fulfill what was spoken by the prophet. I will open my mouth in parables. I will utter what has been hidden since the foundation of the world. So as the text says, mustard bushes are garden bushes. Typically, they grow between 6 to 20 feet tall with like a 20-foot spread. And it's talking like the spread of the limbs and the leaves. Under great conditions, they can get up to about 30 feet tall. It's huge for a garden bush. But why does that matter? So, consequently, you see a tree like that, it'll probably become a perch for birds. You probably see tons of birds on a tree like that. Believe it or not, there's actually something to my theory. Check this out. Okay. So several Old Testament passages use a tree with birds flocking to its branches to represent a great kingdom, wherein the birds represent those who seek shelter in the kingdom. Let's break it down. What do we have? We have a really small, finite seed, and a mustard seed that is sown, and it grows into this huge, massive habitation of a tree. Or bush, whatever you want to call it. I think this definitely exemplifies what we have to look forward to. So everybody lean in. This is good. Check it out. The parable of the mustard seed represents the visible manifestation of the kingdom of God. All right. The parable of the leaven is more so about the mysterious hidden influence that the kingdom has on the world. All right. Let's see. So the parable of the mustard seed answers questions of whether the phase of the kingdom that Jesus planted would actually survive, right? The parable of the leaven answers questions about the process, such as like, how does this process even work? Guys, let's take it from a deeper perspective. So I'm no artist, but I'm going to give you my best shot. I'm a visual learner. So you have a seed, which represents our faith and represents the kingdom. And we go through things in our faith, and even as the body in the kingdom. At the beginning of the life of that seed, it grows down. These are roots, guys. It grows down in darkness and pain. It has to make its way around rocks, and all kinds of things. But it grows down. Guys, don't miss this. Growing down gives us foundation. It's a part of our growth. The only way it grows down is through nurturing, which is represented by the Lord and how he showers us with rain and sunshine. You see, guys, I don't know art. What I do know is that by grace and through faith, the Lord desires to grow us. And sometimes that growth is hard and painful. We go through all kinds of hardships. We go through heartaches. We go through depression. We go through financial issues. We go through all kinds of things. One of my favorite scriptures is James 1:2, and it says, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because we know that the testing of the faith develops perseverance." So guys, at the very essence of that, there's good news for the believer. We find joy in our pain. The Lord desires to use our pain to create a story, to create our testimonies. It said, "Consider it pure joy whenever you face trials of many kinds." The Lord wants to use that to grow your faith. So, easier said than done, but trust the Lord. Trust the Lord. Because ultimately, he holds the answers to the questions of why. Why am I here? What's my purpose? Am I going to be okay? Trust the Lord. Grace and peace, y'all.